Welcome back to the shop. I'm Dave, and this week I'm working inside the cab. So last week we got this engine running, but I had the batteries set up here on each side to replicate where they were in the Ram, just so I didn't have to mess with any of the wiring. But the batteries couldn't last there forever, and now I gotta get down to the nitty gritty of wiring this thing up. So if you've been following the series along a little bit, this is a bit of a how-to of how to shovel 10 pounds of shit in a 5-pound bag. There's really no space inside this engine bay. There's absolutely no room to put any of the fuse boxes in or any of the relay boxes, and not to mention the batteries that need to run this thing. So for starters, I've decided to put this pair of batteries behind the passenger seat in the back. So I'll need to build a little box to enclose this so there's no gases when they're charging, and then I'll vent it out through the back. Or there's this hole here for, I think radio comms used to go through there to the back, so I might utilize that port there. So I'll build a box to close this all in and get that all nice. Okay, so I'm in the power distribution control panel here. This has most of the fuses for the front, and it has a lot of these relays here. As you can see, the blower motor relay, diesel heater. So what I'm doing here is I have no space up here in the front, anywhere to put this box. So I'm gonna move it back to the back of this cab, maybe underneath the seat, I'm not sure. But anyways, I gotta get in behind here and start thinning this out. Things I don't need, things that aren't required, things that can go back there, and I might have to keep some stuff up here, but at any rate, I'll make this box smaller and move some of the stuff around. Clear? Clear as mud. So a couple days later, I didn't do any of that. What I did was I ended up lengthening this wiring harness all the way out so I can fit it in the back of the cab. It's just hanging there, but probably down there. The wiring harness extensions in these two 1-inch round looms, and there's over 600 feet of wire that I've added to each of these looms. And I don't have them all buttoned up here because it's like putting your tools away before you're done. I'm not sure if I'm going to be back in there, so yeah, fire it back up, see if it goes. But as you can see, wiring can be a cruel mistress, so there's a lot of it here to tackle. And I think what I'm going to do now is clean up the whole cab and get it all painted up, and then I'll start with putting the wiring back in and deal with that. So I got all the stuff out of the cab here, and I'm working my way up to the firewall. I'm just starting to get rid of some of the rust here and see how much I got to replace. It looks like at one point this was glassed in, so I'm gonna have to replace this part of the cowl, obviously the part where I cut out, and I'm gonna cover over all this because I don't plan to use the fresh air vent. So before I paint all of the firewall and stuff, I'm gonna replace all this. So I'm measuring up the thickness of the sheet metal on this cowl here, and it looks like the flavor of the day is going to be 18 gauge. That's a little bit thinner than, this is 14, and I think that the firewall here is a 16. So this will be by far and away the lightest sheet metal on this vehicle. It would also easily explain why there's nothing left of it. I've been banging away making patterns for this cowl. So I got this one, and it's just bent with a simple pattern here just to cover in there. But this top corner is a little trickier because it comes with like a 90, and you can see that it comes in a little bit and it folds in top and bottom here. But then it also has this like it's like a curve, but it changes throughout the length of it. So that one took me a little bit of time. How I did it was I just took some card here and then folded it through, so that way I knew how much steel I was going to need to start this, and then just cut some reliefs out of it. And then I started to fold her over. So this is what I got here. It's got your 90-degree bend right there. And when I put this pattern up, it pretty closely follows what I need it to do. So that's a good start for when I pull this out and then I'll cut it. I'll try not to disturb this profile, and then I'll bang her in so it's a little bit tighter. Alright, so I got this patch, and then I got some zinc weld through primer going on over here. So I'm going to weld through some of the spots in here after I got it, after I ground it down. This is so there's a little bit of paint protection on it, but I can also zip through it with the welder. It's better than having no paint. And then over here I got some just some rust paint going on there. Come on, focus, buddy. That I'm pretty sure I'll be able to hit that with a brush, but in case I can't, like behind here, you know, I got some paint protection on her. Alright, and that's what it looks like with both of them in there. So I got a bit of a low spot here, but I should be able to fill that up with a little bit of filler. Otherwise, I'm pretty happy with that. That's not going anywhere. And that's what it looks like with the cowl covered up. I've started to put the dash in as best I can. The reason why this is all missing here is because I'm going to have to make this detachable. That's so I can get the HVAC box in and under the dash, because there wasn't any space right here where the bottom of this dash comes across. So that'll have to be going in as a separate piece. So now I think I got most of the holes drilled in the front of this firewall that I want to keep or add. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to start to paint the inside of the firewall so to keep it from getting all rusty. I've tried to replicate the red oxide paint that I found when I pulled it apart, but then I'm going to go gloss black probably from here down and through and just get this all blacked out. So from here I got to put this doghouse back in, but I think I'm going to cut some of this out because I don't need these holes here. So I'll probably take this profile down so it's more flat, but I also need to put in this transfer case shifter knob, and that'll pick up the transfer case shifter linkage just below this panel here. So I'll probably have to cut this out of the floor and move this out of the way here. Then I can get it in just in here. And there should be enough space here that it'll stick far enough out of the way so it won't interfere with driving. So this is what I come up with so far. I've cut the top of the profile out of the doghouse here, so it's a little bit lower closer to the transmission. And then back here I cut this hole out so the transfer case shifter knob can go through. And then that way I can run it to the floor here and works good. So I think this is the position where the knob's going to be, and then that'll give me lots of space here to operate the throttle. And when I put it in four-wheel drive at maximum, it'll go down there about that low. Now I'll get it hooked up, covered up, and see how I make out. Alright, so I got the doghouse covered up here, and also I got the footwell here covered up as well. So from here I think I'm going to start pulling the wiring harness through. Alright, so I got this wiring harness in, at least where I think it's going to run. So I got the power distribution control board back there, and then this comes up, these two 1-inch looms come up behind the heater box here, and then they go over the steering column and out through the front of this firewall. And then I have them snaking across up and through here, behind this panel. And then I got the spots for the lights, the wiring on each side. So back here is where I'm going to put the batteries, and then I'll wire them in. I'll put a box in here so it'll vent out. I probably mentioned that earlier. And then I'll have to find a spot for the powertrain control module and run the heavy-aught cable probably down through the cab and then up to the front. On second thought, I don't like the look of those looms right there in the cab, so I think I'm going to try to run them underneath the cab. That way they're kind of out of the way, and then I won't have to look at them. Also, I have to get the powertrain control module here. I have to get this to hook up back there. But also this stuff, all these connectors, these would specifically go to the engine, but like these ones go down to the transmission. So I have to figure out how to get them back through, down, and under the cab. But I'll leave that for right now, have a little think on it, and I'll work on it later.